beautiful Wednesday morning to you. Welcome to John and Viewers TV. My name is Omoyi Pearl, and I'm the house. I have a social commentator and also public analyst and entrepreneur in person of Mr. Tega, right?
Yeah, can
Okay,
be.
not Tega, right?
Take out fine.
Okay, and as usual, I have Benny here Nafe. Good morning, darling.
Good morning, Pearl. How are you?
Very well.
Yeah.
Leadership is something that is it's divine, and with not just being divine, it's a very very huge position that goes with a lot of responsibilities. Entails integrity, ability to have good followers, ability to make impact, agility, learning agility, and so many things. What have you? When it comes to leading a country, that is when it's a different style, different techniques are actually being employed. Basically, not just the people you lead, it's also you. Now that brings us to the topic today is about good leadership, having Nigeria in perspective.
Okay.
So like we say, ladies first. Let me start with you, Benahi. Okay. When it comes about good leadership as regards Nigeria, what do you really think have we really experienced good leadership?
Well, Nigeria deserves better because when we talk about good leadership,
Mm,
many persons are quick to say if the person is good.
mm,
Being a good leader does not mean you have a good personality or what have you. It means that you have something to offer and that the expectations of Nigerians are being met to a large extent.
exactly.
And in terms of good leadership, which is in three folds: economical fold, political fold, and administrative fold, I would say that so far we've not exceeded 30% in terms of good leadership.
That looks poor.
It looks poor because Nigeria were over 60, yes, 60, and then in terms of the economic progress and what have you, we've
Mm,
been in recession different times,
mm,
and the economy is just on the edge or on the brink of collapse and
Collapse,
what
yeah.
have you.
mm,
So, if you're talking about good governance, such things should not be prevalent in terms of political failure
mm,
or different things, insecurity,
mm.
and in ways in which a particular person or the government ought to curb this menace. If all these things are being prevalent right now and has been prevalent in times past,
Okay.
we've not exceeded 30% in terms of good leadership.
Okay, Tega, I'll go to you now. Good leadership, like what she said, that we've not really had a fair share of good leadership in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Now, I'll ask you from this angle of from the military regime now to the democratic, the civilian rule. Have you really kind of weighed? I mean, you've been around for a very long time on earth. I've been on that side.
Okay.
So would you really say from your assessment that we've actually have a fair share either from the military regime or the civilian?
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Let me start by saying, what is leadership?
Okay.
That's the first point.
Mm-hmm.
In all the popular definitions of leadership, it has to do with of an individual, a team, an organization, or a group to influence another individual, group, team, organization.
Yes.
So, in all the definitions, it doesn't have to do with domination.
At all.
Yeah.
It has to do with influence.
Positively.
Influence. Okay, that's by the way. So, if you want to be a leader, you must first of all understand what leadership entails in terms of definition, content, and meaning. So, you are not misguided. So, let's put it to the Nigerian circumstance. 1960 till now, I will say, at the inception of the state called Nigeria,
Mm.
our founding fathers got it right.
Yes.
I will explain that. They lost the ambition of an independent Nigeria, a beautiful one. And they sat down and then drafted a constitution that will govern their space, a beautiful one. But whether or not the content of that constitution is reflective of the Nigerian realities is another thing to talk about. Okay, fine. So, in the Nigerian circumstances, what defines our leadership? What are the parameters we use to measure who a leader is and who is not a leader? Like you rightly said, the leader does not translate into being good because good is relative. What is good to you may not be good,
To
so
the other
so
person.
it's relative. So being good is not really in the picture. It is the ability of you being the leader to steer the activities of the group in a desired direction. Not essentially are you rich, not essentially are you highly placed, but you just have that tact to lead people. Now, when we're in primary school, there are some persons in the class, even secondary school, university, you see people always sit around them. People always want to ask them one thing, please. You see, those are ingrained leaders.
Yes.
You don't buy
They have
it.
attractive personality.
You get. They have that charisma.
Yes.
People want to follow. People want to follow. So that is it. Now, beyond that, if you look at the two major religious bodies in the world, Islam and Christianity, the two founders are pious people who were not essentially rich or highly placed persons. So that is by the way. Now let's back to Nigeria. You were asking if the military and the civilian.
Yeah, yes.
In my opinion, this is my opinion, the Nigerian states were not ripe for civilian rule just yet. As at the time, we moved into civilian rule.
We just rushed into
And we
it,
just,
so
yes, we don't really understand it very well. Now, beyond that, after the founding fathers, Samadu Bello, what's his name, and the rest of them, we know them. The next crop of leaders had these religious inclinations. And like all civilizations, or the mother of civilizations in modern time, Greece, he said there are three classes of persons. I only wants to use some terms they used. But any individual who sees his native person as more important than the larger group is not fit to be a leader.
Ethnicity blinded, kind of.
You are not a leader at that point.
Yeah.
You must understand that you are leading people beyond just your ethnic leanings, religious leanings, what have you.
Personal interest.
So you must have an objective template for effective leadership, meaning you must be accommodating, you must be open, you must be accessible, you must be accountable, you must be transparent. These are the qualities of a leader. Now use the qualities and attach them to our leaders from 1960 till date. You will see the red lines.
Yeah, you just
Yeah,
striking
you
everything out.
you see the
Not
red lines.
transparent,
But not to take everything away from them. To some extent, they've done their bit.
Exactly.
Yes, they've done their bit. You can't take it away from them. But in terms of effective leadership, I can assure you, we've not started just yet. But it is a good thing we are talking about it, which means there's this desire within.
For change.
Yes, that is a plus. So if this burning desire continues, it means that someday we may get it right. But if we may get it right, there are certain factors that must not come in.
Such as?
One, ethnicity don't come in. Religion don't come in. Social status don't come in.
Okay.
It has everything more to do with intellect. Intellect. Now, I was privileged to listen to the United Nations General Assembly 73rd section. And I saw the Swiss president moving into the hall. He was sitting on the bare floor trying to sort out something. The Swiss president sitting on the bare floor in a lounge trying to sort out people. I'm not trying to say sitting on the bare floor is something that is
You
But
mean
you
you
take
inclined?
regular
a leader.
No, no, according to our perception of a leader here, you have persons dedicated to do that.
Good. So, the last time we speak here, I told us something. Anyhow you go about things is reflective of what you understand about that thing. If you think that leadership is a business, businessmen will move into leadership with that portfolio of money to hijack the process. But if you restrict leadership to intellect, only those who have it will come in. And ordinarily, the process sieves who becomes a leader or not.
Yes.
Now, some time ago in Delta State, we visited the government house. So, at the gate, we were expected to put down our names before we access the building. But you see some of these guys in the streets with big chests. When he was about to write names, some persons got angry and they were furious. Please, I believe this by routine, bro. I know they right.
Protocol is not their thing.
Just We say write your no.
Due process.
He cannot write his name. That is the
Oh.
problem.
Okay, literal.
But ordinarily in the streets, if they say beat up people or who is to be
2
in charge,
seconds.
this guy will be in charge. But now we have not restricted this process to intellect. You now see the guy just shifted himself off it. That is what leadership is. That is it. Now, in Nigeria, for example, we have the most expensive leaders in terms of the highest paid. But at the same time, where African presidents are talking, when the American president comes there, African presidents keep quiet. Because ordinarily, they are not clouds. When Obama is not very rich, but when Dangote is talking, or Buhari is talking, when Obama is talking, Dangote keeps quiet. Buhari keeps quiet. Because we're talking about not money now.
I think that
What I-
speaks about international system when it comes to power.
Yeah.
That's respect. It's not really that they don't really have much to say. I think I would refer from that aspect. Perhaps it's respect. You know, being a world leader, you just using that example. I'm
Okay.
actually standing now. Being a world leader, and perhaps somebody who is actually a world leader, controlling so many countries and also West Africa
Okay.
in perspective. So definitely they are going to actually take the back seat.
I think in terms of what he's saying, we have some events whereby
Contributions,
leaders,
you mean?
yeah, no, some events. I'm not just talking about maybe a particular person. You
Yeah.
have maybe aspirants.
Yeah.
I'm saying they have to have a debate about something, and you see a specified few being able
Charismatic.
to talk. Do you understand? Being charismatic, being able to put their intellect into play.
Yeah.
And then some other persons will not even come, or will not say anything, or will just shy away from questions because they cannot.
Really contribute or
Yeah,
something.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, yes, the way you actually going shows that you mean the civilian rule has actually not really done so well, and we're not ripe enough to embrace such a system of government.
Yeah, we're not ripe enough because if you look at the antecedents that precipitated in 1999, you will see that the persons who manned the highest office in the land, with all due respect to that region, are predominantly from a particular region.
Okay.
It is skewed. I'm not saying remove that region from the scheme of things.
Okay.
They are my brothers in the north, so they are part of me. But what I'm saying is, let's have a balance.
Equation as regards
Equation.
ethnicity and zoning.
Yes, that is by the way. Then two is that let's not. I'm not suggesting that we should throw away religion. I'm not saying throw away ethnicity. That is who we are. What I'm saying is that we can harmonize these things.
Okay, because I was about to throw a question to you. You said something about ethnicity and religion actually
Playing
playing a pivotal role in, I think, sort of sentimental role, especially in choice of leadership and
Yeah.
leadership style.
Yeah.
But the truth is, you can never take yourself away from your race.
Yeah.
You're black, you're black.
Yeah.
You're Nigerian, you're Nigerian. You're from a particular region, you're from a particular region. But I think from my perspective is, I think we should let the Nigerian interest overcloud religion or ethnicity. But definitely the religion is also there to guide these leaders. The ethnicity is also there to guide them
Okay.
in a positive way.
Okay.
Because it will be like, okay, have a proper representation so the people from this particular region or clan should be proud of you and see you as a good example. Because
Okay.
leadership is, when you are leading, that is the style of you mentoring people indirectly and directly.
Yeah, sure.
Then when it comes to religion, we have these religious leaders there also providing advice to these persons in these positions,
Moral
like
is another,
morally
yeah.
advice and support. And to be like, we have the CAN president there, we've had the president of the Catholic bishops there. They are actually there to provide advice and moral support to the president, guide him religiously. Maybe perhaps he's taking some decisions that might seem a bit sentimental, and they will try to give him advice that will
Okay.
guide him for the betterment of the country and unity too. Because you said we have two major religions and we cannot take that away. Divination has
Yeah.
always been there everywhere. So we can't really take that away. So definitely they are there to support. But it's just that these individuals, when they get there, they tend to, some of them I would say, they tend to no longer be fair.
Okay.
Because now that ethnicity has actually override them. And the persons providing the advice, we should treat it from the roots. Because most of these ethnic leaders are there to also go there most times for their self-interest, not really for the representation of the people. They'll tend to now give wrong advice to the leaders. What do you think?
Yeah, you are right. Very, very right. Now, look at what I'm trying to say. Let me corroborate what you're saying. Now, the reason why I said we should not remove religion from who we are
Okay.
is that that is who we are.
Yes.
We are Nigerians. We are a people who allow our ethnic, religious, and what was the other word? Ethnic, religious,
Self-interest or social
to,
status.
to influence our political thought.
Yes.
That is who we are, unapologetically.
Yes.
And we don't regret being that. By the way, then if that is who we are, when we draft our ground norm in terms of the law that governs us, we should factor who we are. That is the reality we're talking about. We should factor who we are into that document. Don't give us a document that have the semblance of American document. Knowing fully well that this is not America, I am not American.
Like all those things are peculiar to
Yes,
certain places
nations have found out over time that nations establish their constitution based on their realities,
Environmental
essentially
factors.
what they saw elsewhere. Because when you copy what you saw in England, you want to fashion me to fit into that thing. But you're supposed to make a law that will suit me, not me suiting the law.
Okay.
Eh? So, that being said, what I'm trying to suggest is that let's not lie to ourselves that remove religion, remove ethnicity, remove this. No, it is part of who we are. It means that, for example, at the National Assembly, when you have the president is Southerner and the Christian, essentially the vice should be a Northerner and a Muslim.
So great
Balance it. When you get to the National Assembly, which is legislature, if the Senate president is a Northerner and a Muslim, the Speaker of House of Representatives should be essentially a Christian and a Southerner. That is who we are.
Since you can't take away the
Yes, you can't remove
and
it. It's just like saying you have.
Everyone needs to have a fair share.
Yes, bring it in. That is who we are. Balance it.
there should be a
If the
balance.
chief of army staff is a Northerner and a Muslim, the chief of air staff should be a Southerner and a Christian. There should be a balance. Nobody is going to cry foul.
And they should, it's not just about bringing these northerners and then being a Muslim, but at the same time, they should know their job. They should know their
Yes, I
onions.
was coming to that. That is why I have problem with this present regime, not because of where he's from. Because I have friends who are Northerners and very, very intelligent. They are not even Christians, they are Muslims. They've stayed with me, I've stayed with them. They are not bad people. They have this Nigerian project in their heads. We've discussed. Now, but please, either of these regions, when you want to give us leaders, don't give us your worst.
I think
Select
that
your-
Ghana boys, that's the
Yes,
party.
yes, select your best among you and project your best. We support that person. Not when you bring out the bad among you and you give us the worst among them. It's not only applicable to this regime. We had it from president from South.
Memorial.
Yes. As a matter of fact, the first military head of state of Nigeria, Aguiyi is South Abia State. The first civilian, you may say ceremonial, but the first president of Nigeria, Nnamdi Azikiwe, is the South. Yes. Now check the antecedent. How come power slipped? I'm trying to balance my argument now. That as much as we have some scrupulous elements up there, we have them everywhere.
Yes.
So the Nigerian people should ensure that at every point in time, these elements who don't mean well should not lead us.
You see, you've talked about, you probably explained the perspective of religion and how it affects the mindset of people
Yeah.
from ethical bias or the whole partial process and all.
Yeah.
And we're still putting our feet rather to talk about good governance, talking about good leadership. And since 1960 to now, do you think we've actually practiced this true federalism? Would you say Nigeria is a federal state in its core
Excuse me.
sense?
Now, what I know federalism is a system of government where there are federating units.
Yeah.
And these federating units, to some extent, enjoy some autonomy in terms of economic, especially, social, and a measure of political independence from the center. They are united for the purpose of security, which is the essence of the state. That is it. So, if we're practicing federalism, it means that the federating unit will have more power than the central government, which is our Abuja.
Okay.
It means that the federating unit will remit to the central government and not the central government paying allocation to states.
You know, there's a thin line between this military system of government and this federal government, whereby, yes, you talked about independence, because we're talking about good leadership. Yes, many persons are putting so many expectations on the federal government and the state government, local governments, almost looks as if
They are not even there.
Exactly. Yes, the autonomy should be there in true federalism,
Yeah.
whereby they are able to handle their affairs. The federal government ought to not really oversee, but being there to know that, okay, these governments are faring well.
Yes.
Exactly. And ensuring essentially the security of the territorial integrity
Yes.
of all the federating units. Now look at it. For example, in Sweden, they have one of the best democratic systems. They have 4 regions. Now these 4 regions have their regional presidents. These 4 regions have their regional presidents. Then they meet at the center. At the center, these 4 presidents elect a president among them who runs for 1 year.
One turner.
Yes, just 1 year, and they rotate it. So this year is with the northern Sweden, if there's a northern Sweden, southern Sweden, eastern Sweden, western Sweden. Whereas the regions are doing their thing. That we had it before in immediate post-independence. When we have the northern region, the midwestern region, the eastern region, and the western region. And each of these regions were thriving very well until we introduced what we refer to as a unitary system, where the center controls everything
Yes.
and gives to the region stipends. Now look at it very well. This is common sense. Sabotage comes in ordinarily. You have your family, you have yours, I have mine. Instead of you protecting your family and contributing a measure for the security of all of us, I said no. The security of your family is in my hand. You wait for me to take orders from me. So if that is the case, I've created incentive for sabotage. Because there are certain things you would have taken care of by yourself, but because I said I am the all or mini of everything, you wait. The process of waiting, things get out of hand. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, we have what they call Federal Fire Service in Nigeria.
Yeah.
The implication is that where there is a fire incident in any of this region, depending on the magnitude, the dimension, orders must come from Abuja.
Exactly.
So before the order, the telegram goes and come back and approve, don't you think the damage have gone?
Yes.
So we should just sit down and look at these things very well. I'm not saying that any of these region has done us harm. Every region have done us good. Every region have done us harm. It is now time for us to sit down and say, what do we want? Is it federal system of government? If it is federal, let's go with it. Is it presidential? If it is presidential, let's go with it. As far as I know, we are practicing a system of government that doesn't have name.
It's just go.
Yes,
I
go
think-
go back to your books. It doesn't
Okay,
have name.
That brings me to the last question before we end up the show.
Okay.
It's as regards to the 2023 presidential elections,
Okay.
we have a choice. The system of government has a name or not. Definitely, we have a president and we have all the arms of government. Now, choosing a good leader. Now, we found ourselves in the civilian system of government, and we have to democratic rule. We have to make do with it and make the best out of it.
Okay.
So what do you think are the measures that should be put in place or put into consideration, this bullet point that should put into consideration before choosing a leader? Because this 23 election is not the first presidential election we've had in Nigeria, but definitely it's going to be the loudest.
It's
The biggest so far. This is going to be shut down.
Yeah.
Because the youth are awakening. The women are awakening. Everybody suddenly is just waking up from their slumber.
Yeah, that's a beautiful. That's why we said at the onset that it is even good the surge is inside us already. Now, 2023 elections, yes, it's going to be biggest compared to what has happened. It's going to be landmark
Yes.
because it's a transition period
Yes.
from an administration
To
to
another.
another one. Okay, that is by the way. Now, you said how do we go about choosing our leaders, right?
Yes.
Come 2023. Now, you look at for the issue the leader is campaigning with.
We have a lot of them. Wike said insecurity. And most of them are actually campaigning with the
Ye-
present issues
ye-
of Nigeria, which is
yeah.
majorly insecurity and economic
Yes,
meltdown.
yes, we know all that. We know all that, yes. But Wike, I'm not taking anything away from Wike. But if Wike is coming and talking about insecurity, I would want to ask him, in his 8 years as governor of Rivers State, without taking anything away from him, how secured is Rivers State?
But to an extent, many persons can say that it has improved compared to how it was years back. At least there was some, or there is some.
If he's not doing anything, he won't boldly come out and say, I
Rivers
want to
State?
work
Are you talking about
it.
in Rivers State? It
Yes.
has
Yes,
improved
he
there.
hasn't used his state. He's governing state
Yeah.
as an example.
Yes, no problem. But remember, Rivers State is only a dot compared to Nigeria.
States in
He
Nigeria.
wants to lead. I'm not saying Wike cannot do it. He can, he should, because he is a leader in his own right. But my problem is that over time, when they get there, is it that something changes?
The manifesto changes. The
So,
song changes.
something changes? That is what I can't explain.
Exactly.
But coming to 2023, I'm not campaigning for anybody. But in the interest of peace, this is the political permutation. Let's forget 1960 to 1999. It is past. This dispensation started from 1999 till date going forward.
Yes.
Now, at the inception of this new dispensation, the southern Nigeria had 8 years under Buhari.
Okay.
Obasanjo. 8 years. Now, Yaradua in Northern was to do 8, but God called him. Fine. And at that point, let me break something here.
Okay.
This what I want to explain now, what I want to talk about now explains why I said we shouldn't copy what is done out there and bring it here. Commonsensically, it is a general knowledge that when the principal dies, the second in command takes over. Right? But in the Nigerian circumstances, I am against that. Because of our religious, ethnic, tribal factor. As a matter of fact, a particular governor said it in 2010 when Yaradua died. Please, good luck should not take over. The North should bring a president, and good luck should continue as a vice because of tomorrow. But nobody saw what the governor was saying. If you're in America, the principal dies, the vice can take over because their polity is not guided by religion and ethnicity. But our own here have that coloration.
But I feel Jonathan being the acting president after Yaradua passed away, I feel that was
He
not
achieved
born out of
yes, and
religion
he didn't have a lot of achievements.
I'm trying to explain something. Not that he did not do well. Just listen to what I'm saying. Now, the North had to do it, but they didn't do it because God took our president there. So a Southerner had to continue. Leave the sentiment. Look at the equation we are trying to balance.
This is the same
I'm
ethnic
coming.
role we're talking about.
Yes, I said
Actually interfering into
it
our
should
government.
come in. We can balance it. It should come in. We'll manage it. Now, what I'm saying is this. Now, Yaradua died. Goodluck did his tenure.
Okay.
And as a PDP member, please, it's not the best party. I'm just a member. It's not the best party. Now, there was an agreement that our former president should do just one term and leave so that the North can take power back. But our former president had to leave the hard way. So our present president came in. Now, Obasanjo 8, Goodluck 6, that's 14, right? Buhari 8 by next year.
Yeah.
Then Yaradua 2, that's 10, is it not?
Yeah.
So 14 against 10. So we are leading them.
Okay, which means that you're
The
trying
North-
to say that
what
the
I'm
North should
saying,
come back.
no, what I'm saying now is
So
that the
it's
South should come now and do one tenor.
Which is not possible in
It's-
Nigeria's
no,
system.
it's possible.
It is not.
No.
You will agree with me that even governors, up to even local government chairmen, everybody believes.
No, this
I have started with the first tenure, I think the second tenure
this
will continue my
circumstance is
work.
peculiar. Listen, this one is peculiar. I talked about Goodluck.
Okay.
He should come. There's going to be an understanding. It's already going on, but we cannot see everything here.
Okay.
Good. He should come in and do a one term and pass the baton
Somebody
to.
from the south.
Yes,
But
no.
how feasible with that
And now,
even work?
okay,
What
yes,
is
no,
going
and
on
two,
right now?
adding to what Benahi said, how feasible is it? Now we have people from the southeast definitely the IPOB clause
No,
is already there.
if I'm done with my explanation now, you understand where where South is coming.
Okay.
Okay.
They have a place, but it's not just now.
Appointment.
No, no, no. I mean the presidency. They have a shot, but
Okay.
not just
Not
now.
2023.
No, 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 no.
Okay, so they have a shot
At
after this. So it's now for the
2035.
southwest.
2035.
But I think right
That's
now,
a very
yes,
long
we've
time.
been-
I
No.
think it's still the same marginalization. we're
No,
complaining
it's not.
about ethnicity
Just
ruling
like,
everything.
just listen to what I'm saying. Eh?
Okay.
Look at it. Goodluck did 6.
Okay.
Obasanjo did 8. That's 14.
We're playing with the lives of Nigerians doing 10 over 10, 5 over 8.
Okay, are you trying
This
to
is why
say
it
that
is
if
mad.
there is a fair representation of different ethnic
And we find a good candidate.
good
From
yes,
where?
ethnic, what have
From
you?
any ethnic
Yes,
group?
any of the zone.
No, no, no. That
I'm trying
means
to say that there is a fair representation of maybe the Southerners or what have you, that some problems that we're facing in Nigeria will drastically reduce.
yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
When you are not represented, you cause trouble. Have you not? You've seen it before now.
Exactly. The
You are a
majority
part
will
of
want
a
to-
group, and your interests are not represented. Then they've given you a free
Then
ticket to
what is
cause
the
trouble.
unity that we are clamoring for? For everybody should come together and have a better Nigeria.
Unity. Unity does not translate open your door down whenever I want to come in, I come in.
No,
That's
no,
not
no.
I
unity.
think unity is trying to
It's
in
peaceful cohabitation
Nigeria.
in Nigeria. We're putting the interest of Nigeria
Yes,
first before any
yes.
ethnic
What
or
I'm
religious.
trying to tell you now is that is the way to go. Everybody will feel belong. But I know my maternal side, the Southeast, they are going to cry foul. Yes, that they've not gotten a shot at the presidency since
Sega, can I ask you a
1999.
quick one? Do you think the Southeast have been marginalized when it comes to fair representation in Nigeria administration?
Yes, they have.
Okay, and you feel,
They
and
have.
due to that question, don't you think it's time for them to have a shot?
No, the presidency does not translate into being assuaging them. That giving them presidency now does not mean you've assuaged them. You understand what I'm saying?
But it's
Whatever.
given a first shot.
No, no, no. Whatever done under desperation, you get it wrong.
You get it wrong.
Yes.
Okay,
But
now.
they'll be clamoring for this. This is not desperation.
But
the clamoring has been on for a long
anytime
time.
an Igbo man tells you that they've not taken a shot at the presidency, remind them that they had the first military head of state and the first civilian
We're talking
president.
about,
Okay,
okay.
you know what? Let's just leave this whole ethnicity because it's not going to end here. I understand where it's coming from. I understand where you are coming from. From his perspective, if there's a fair representation, persons will feel belong. And unity
Yes.
is relative. Maybe we're clamoring for unity, but actually we're clamoring for where persons do not have to kill each other. Let there be stability in the
Peace.
state. Peace. Peace is actually relative.
And an
They say
Igbo
you
man
don't go
is the
to
Minister
war.
for Labor and Employment.
Okay, Pearl. But right now, before we go, I have to ask you a final question. For persons, yes, they are looking forward to the 2023 election, and you said something that when persons become credible, go or get into that seat, they
If something changes.
If something changes. So how can we ensure that they are more transparent 2023 and other years to come?
Okay. There's what we call social contract in governance.
Okay.
Social contract. That is the fundamental or the pillar that holds the states as a system. When man was a state of nature, we now move to the state system. Now, what I'm trying to say is this. When we get into that position, what are we looking at? What do we hope to achieve? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now, good. When we get to that position next year, there are a lot of things that are there, but we don't have all the time to say them.
Exactly.
But the fact is that one, we know what the Nigerian problem is.
You okay?
All of us know what it is.
All Nigerians
Yes,
know.
we know what it is, but it's just that we are mostly shy facing our challenges. Now we know what the problem is. Please, let's just face it.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank
we know
you
what
so
it is.
much
Thank
for
you very much for
saying
Yeah,
coming to the
yeah.
show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, our guest for today talked about. In fact, I think we literally hit the nail on the head in terms of good leadership, good
Yes.
governance, everything in between that pertains to the Nigerian government and people at large. Yes, thank you so much for watching. If you have anything to say, please just drop it in our comment section. And please follow us across our social media platforms on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We are Vostv Nigeria, and coming 2023 presidential election, do your part and get your own PVC. Yes. Thank you so much for watching, and have a lovely day.